Welcome to Agba's Epic Tales. The title of today's story is
The Princess Cursed with the Spirit of Madness. Once upon a time, in the kingdom, lived a king called Eze Akubata. Eze Akubata, together with his beautiful wife, Queen Oledo, had just one child. The name of the child was Princess Akwaugo. Princess Akwaugo was a beautiful and smart girl whose birth and growth had made her parents, the king and queen, very happy. But their happiness was cut short years ago when Princess Akwaugo was 11 years old. Few weeks before Princess Akwaugo became 11, one of the palace guard was caught trying to steal some royal ornaments from the palace. He had been stealing before that day, and a trap was laid for him, which he fell into it and was caught. The palace guard was sent out of the palace and humiliated all over the village. Out of shame, he had hid in the bush so he could go back to his mother's hut at night when it was dark and when nobody could see him. But while he was trying to leave the bush that night, he was bitten by a snake and had died in his mother's arm few minutes after he got to his mother's hut and before his mother could use her juju power to treat him. The guard's mother, very angry that she had lost her only son, blamed King Akubata for her son's death, and so she cast a strong black magic on the king's daughter, Princess Akwaugo. The spell made the princess mad, and so the once beautiful, smart, and young princess, who was just 11 years old, became mad. All this happened 8 years ago. Over the years, the king had consulted many native and herbal doctors to cure his daughter, but only few of them could do so little. She becomes normal for a few days, and the madness returns again and becomes worse than it was before, leaving the king and queen more sad. Princess Akwaugo was always locked up in her room with only 2 special maidens who attended to her. There was a young man who supplied special well-seasoned bushmeats to the palace. The name of the young man was Nnamdi. It is this same Nnamdi from our previous story titled The Woman Who Was Called a Witch. Whenever Nnamdi visits the palace to make a supply, he would usually hear Princess Akwaugo screaming and gibbering. In the past, they would give her a herbal medicine which helps put her to sleep and helps stop the noise. But with time, the medicine no longer had effect on her, and so she could not sleep anymore, but to scream and shout all day. Princess Akwaugo's condition bothered Nnamdi. He wondered what kind of madness had struck her and why all the medicine men have not been able to cure her. One day, during his regular visit to his foster grandmother's place, whose name is Mama Nwadiuto. It is the same Mama Nwadiuto from our previous story titled The Woman Who Was Called a Witch. Nnamdi begged Mama Nwadiuto to use her magical power to heal the princess. Mama Nwadiuto told Nnamdi that she would not be able to grant his request and help the princess because everybody in the village believes that she is evil and a witch and would think she would only cause more harm. Nnamdi knew she was right, but he could not bear to see the royal household suffer when he knows someone who might be able to help them. On one particular day, as he visited the palace for his usual supply, Nnamdi asked to speak to either the king or the queen. Queen Holedo came out and Nnamdi told her about the story of Mama Nwadiuto and the good power she possessed and how she could be of help. Queen Holedo was angry at Nnamdi for suggesting that she should take her daughter to a witch. Out of anger, she sent him out of the palace immediately and told him to stop bringing bushmeat for them anymore, since he is associating with a witch. Months went by and Princess Akwaugo grew worse. Out of helplessness, Queen Holedo thought to give Nnamdi's suggestion a trial. She told her husband, Eze Akubata, and as expected, the king was also angry at the idea and he disagreed outrightly. One night, out of desperation to get her daughter healed, Queen Holedo sneaked out of the palace to see Nnamdi. She begged Nnamdi to invite Mama Nwadiuto to the palace the day after, when the king would be away for a trip. Mama Nwadiuto refused initially, as she does not like the idea of disguising herself and going to the palace in the night. More so, her life might be in danger because people already misunderstood her. But after much persuasion by Nnamdi and having the nature to do good within her, she agreed. Mama Nwadiuto arrived at the palace as planned, and immediately she entered the room, she touched Princess Akwaugo on her head and muttered few words, and immediately Princess Akwaugo became calm. But while all this happened, the king had returned unexpectedly to pick up something important he had left behind. He entered his daughter's room because he was told that the queen and some other visitors who they do not know were there, while he couldn't find her when he came. He was about to yell in rage when he saw that his princess had become calm and looked normal as the old woman touched her. Days went by and days became months. The princess was completely whole and had recovered fully, unlike before, when other medicine men who had treated her and the madness returns after a few days. The king was grateful to Mama Nwadiuto and he renounced the ban placed on her. The whole villagers came to learn that they were wrong about Mama Nwadiuto and they apologized to her. A year later, Princess Akwaugo and Nnamdi got married, and Mama Nwadiuto was brought to stay in the palace, and everyone lived happily ever after. This story is all about good deeds and forgiveness.
I hope you enjoyed this story. Did you learn anything from this story? I would like to know. Please share in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. See you in our next video. Bye.